Hey folks, this is Ardwulf. Welcome to Traveler Tuesday. We're attempting to reestablish the pattern of doing Traveler Tuesday every Tuesday, and we're starting again, or resuming, if you will, with this product. The Sector Construction Guide. This is from Mongoose Publishing, and it is for their Mongoose Traveler 2nd edition. This is a boxed set, thus suitable for unboxing purposes. Anything else I'll preview in PDF. I do have a couple more things that arrived with this. Now, this looks very interesting. I was very interested in seeing this. Now, this comes in a box format that I have not seen previously from Mongoose or Studio 2. It is in a 3/4 inch box or something like that. But it does have like a full cover instead of those half covers that they were doing for a while, which kind of make them look ghastly on the shelf. And I did not like that. That does not make my OCD happy. So we'll see what we get in the box here as we tear it open. So I am just coming off I brought the Classic Traveler rules with me to Buckeye Game Fest just in case. And a game did not come together. There was some interest, but there was not enough interest, and there was not enough energy level on my part. So we're taking off the hermetic seal here, and there's a little thing here so you can pull the box top off relatively easily. So let's see what we get. Now, I'm going to talk a lot about the Foreven sector here as we go through this material, because that is the sort of centerpiece of this. But if you have seen previous sector products from Mongoose Publishing, this is different. So we're going to first of all bust out the map. And if this is the same type of thing as previous Mongoose Traveler maps, it's going to be oversized. And I'm not going to be able to... no, that's not too bad. We'll do it that way. Now, this is singles. No, it is not. So on one side, you have a blank sector map with which to develop your own sector, and nice and big. On the other side, you have the official Foreven sector. Now, this is a sector that is adjacent to the Spinward Marches. So, Traveler player groups, many of which have historically roamed the Spinward Marches, have pretty easy access to it. However, it has also always been set aside as a referee's preserve. So we have had for a long time what's called the dot map in Traveler circles, which is basically the sector map and which hexes are populated with star systems. And there have been a couple of specific systems, not very many, in the Foreven sector that have been developed in various products, but the rest of it is all up to you. So you roll your own UWPs, you do all that stuff. Now, this map has UWPs on it, but the book is going to go out of its way to explain that this is not an official Foreven sector. This is just kind of a place where you can get started. So inside the box also is a thick pad of, 2 books actually, a thick pad of planetary sheets, which is pretty neat. Okay. And these look like they're all the same. And I don't know if there's 50 of them or something like that on here. So that looks nice. Always nice to see that. Here's the Sector Construction Guide Charts and Forms booklet, which is quite slender, 16 pages. And here we have subsectors of Foreven, and this gives you the UWPs for all these worlds, but other than that, not really any additional details at all, and the trade codes. So this is like the whole extended UWP. Does tell you whether there's gas giants here, but it does not tell you whether there are planetoid belts. So again, this is that kind of unofficial Foreven sector data where you can skip generating the UWPs yourself if you want and then go to town. Now, one of the other things that we have also had in the past officially is the fact that a good chunk, looks like about 5, 6 subsectors of this sector are under Jodani control. They're actually part of the Jodani consulate. And here we have this Allegiance Avalar, and I'm not sure you can see this in frame, but that's this small state down here. And then we have world summary sheets, polity summary sheets, and Sofont summary sheet. That's very interesting, and we're going to take a look at that in the Sector Construction Guide. So Traveler has always included robust tools for generating your own universe. If you like the official Traveler universe, or OTU as we call it, that's great. I love it too. But we've always had the tools with which to develop our own space adventure universes from the very beginning in 1977 in the original little black boxed set. We've also had those same tools in every subsequent version of Traveler, including the versions of Traveler that are not Traveler, like GURPS Traveler or Traveler D20 or whatever. I'm not sure about Hero Traveler because I never actually looked at that. But other than that, we've always had these tools. So what this does, and that includes both editions of Mongoose Traveler, so what this does is it gives us some additional stuff with which to flesh that space out in space, right? So this is going to start out, what do we got, about 48 pages here? 64 pages of glossy, full-color magazine type stuff, heavy glossy stock, I would say. Magazine stock implies that it's real thin. So we have an introduction. We have some introductory material on creating a universe. By the way, this was written by Geir Landeskog, who is one of the newer folks, as far as I know, doing material for Mongoose Traveler 2nd edition, and everything I have seen from him so far has been outstanding. So here's the example sector, and here we're going to get the disclaimer about this is not the official data. This is just, if you don't want to bother with that, here's how to get started. And here is the, you can see the part of the sector, almost half the sector actually, that is controlled by the Jordani consulate. And I think this Avalar state down here is not actually official Traveler Universe material either. We have some additional details on system creation. And this has given you sort of these contour lines here, kind of a method by which you can determine subsector density and by adjusting the roles, whether there's a star system there or not. We determine the physical characteristics. These are really expanded descriptions of what all these numbers mean, giving you additional things to make the magic of the UWP happen in. Social characteristics. Additional characteristics include starport tech level, trade codes, and then some more stuff about the example sector. So what we don't get in here is like the expanded star system generation that tells you what kind of star the primary is. Is it a multi-star system or a solitary? None of that's in here. We also have sector details, okay? Now this is pretty interesting. We have a frequency for native Sofonts. Traveler calls intelligent species Sofont species. Pocket Empire Ripple, so it talks about pocket empires, and none of this is particularly mechanical. I would venture to say that essentially everything in this set can easily be used with no conversion with any version of Traveler that you want. So if you're a dedicated Cepheus engine person or a dedicated Mega Traveler person, I think you're going to be fine. So again, we get a lot of stuff from the initial native Sofonts for the sample sector. And they used Forever again because it's referees preserve. Scattered settlements, pocket empire ripples. We get to talk about that. Population generation. This is another sort of zone map to modify certain values. Population generation. That is a thing that's just kind of random in the default system. Main world design, physical design details. Oh, we do get star properties here. Does it tell you how to generate those randomly though? Or do you just determine it? And I'm not seeing a method to determine it, but we get some equations. That's great. Temperature is proportional to luminosity divided by distance squared to the 1/4 power. So get your scientific calculators out here, folks. Now, do you need any of that? Not really, no. It would be nice to have a big table for that, but you do kind of get that, right? So you get, here's the star types of the big, oh, be a fine girl, kiss me, and then 3 different M types, because M-type stars, red dwarfs, are the most common type of star by a lot. And you get sample values for mass, radius, habitable zone, the 100D distance in AUs. That's important because that is the minimum distance that you need to be out of a gravity well before you can safely jump. And that'll tell you what the year is here. This is the presumed year of an approximate main world. So you see G0, mass 1.1, that's 1.1 solar masses, radius, again, 1.1 solar masses, 1.2 solar luminosities. That's in comparison to Earth's star Sol. Here's the habitable zone. Here's the 100D distance. This, by the way, I worked this out myself because I was curious, and I didn't see it in any Traveler material that I was looking at the time. The 100 diameter distance from Sol is outside the orbit of Venus. So you cannot jump from inside that area until just inside Earth's orbit, as I recall. So that's why this 1.02, this is a slightly more massive star, a slightly bigger diameter. So right about at Earth is right about the the distance of the 100D limit, and that's 100 diameters. Scientifically, does 100 diameters make any sense? I'm not sure that it does, but you could probably develop a hand wave for that. We talk about mapping and climate, and we get the sample world map that's on the pad. And this is an icosahedron, a D20, in other words. So you could easily map this out, and all the hexes bleed over into one another at the north and south. So that's been the traditional Traveller planetary mapping format. I will also mention, and I thought it was mentioned in here, and maybe I missed it, or it's in the back, TravellerMap.com is a fantastic resource for any science fiction RPG. And it also links directly into the Traveller Wiki and into another website that will give you randomly created world maps for every planet, which the world maps may not be the canonical world map. So be careful if you care about that. I don't particularly. So I like the Traveller universe, but I wouldn't be feel particularly obliged to stick strictly to canonical stuff. Social design details development. There's a lot of discussion in here. Here's the planet Avalar. It looks like we have native life is marked in the purple. Agricultural is marked, okay. I don't know what the numbers on this place are. So it's starport A, size 7, atmosphere and hydrosphere both 5, population 9, which is pretty high, a government type 9, and law level C, and it's tech level C. That's the UWP right here. So yes, I have that memorized. So I've gone through it enough at this point. I've created enough spreadsheets to do it for me that I don't have to think about it. Polity Design. We can have one world governments or balkanized planets, as they are called in Traveller, which are home to multiple potentially and probably competing governments. Here's the Avalar consulate. This may be like a client state of the Jordani. I haven't actually read this material, but you got a world list here. You've got the names of all the planets. That's why they're on the map. So you've kind of got a home base here that is somewhat developed inside the Freven sector if you want to use this as a basis for developing your own sector instead of doing it completely from scratch. Here we have Sofont design. So this is an area in which Traveller has always been a bit lacking, is designing Sofont alien species. This is a fairly skeletal set of mechanisms to do that with. If you want a much less skeletal and substantially more complicated way to do it, that can be found in Traveller 5th edition, available from Far Future Enterprises. My position on Traveller 5th edition is that it is basically unusable as an RPG if you were just going to run an RPG out of those books. But they are very well presented books, and there are many really cool things in them that can be used in whatever Traveller campaign. So they are worthwhile if you are a serious Traveller collector or referee. I do kind of think you want them, but the presentation is doing it no favors, and most of its issues regarding playability are in fact related to presentation. So here's a species example, the Tlinja. That's how I would say that anyway. It is your game. You say it however you want, and you normally get, for a lot of the Traveller alien races, at least ones that aren't totally weird, you get a section on creating Tlinja Travelers here that will tell you how to play these as player characters. Sector finalization gives you some things to develop here. So this is, they could easily have done a book 4 times this size on this topic. And I'm not 100% sure, well, I would have bought it, but I'm not 100% sure that everybody needs that. So this as kind of a halfway step through towards fleshing out that Traveller world building tool of the universal world profile and giving you a little more background on how you actually use it in a game, I think is very valuable. So I'm happy to add this to the Traveller library, my Traveller library. So, the Traveller Sector Construction Guide. Hopefully you have found this useful. If so, please do give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Let me know in the comments if you'd like to see more Traveller content or if you have ideas for additional Traveller Tuesday topics. I'd like to give a special shout out to the patrons of Ardwulf's Lair, without whose support and encouragement none of this would be possible. And I'd like to thank you for watching. Until next time, happy traveling.